Hi, welcome to GameGo's podcast, a podcast where we talk about video games and whatever the hell else we feel like talking about. I am H8BitHero.
I'm Sonorith.
How's it going, everybody? Thanks for listening. Thanks for tuning in.
This has been a crazy week. Destiny 2 came out, and I've been playing that nonstop.
I finally tried a From Software game.
How do you like it?
Yeah, I'll talk about it more later.
All right.
Been watching anything?
Yes, I've been watching movies. A movie called It, the new one that came out. It's actually really good. Feels like Stand By Me with the killer clown.
Yeah, I knew about the killer clown, obviously. It's It.
But this movie really focuses on like the more like the people and the kids and the relationships that they have, and man, it's a really good movie.
Good stuff.
Yes, I can't wait for the potentially next part.
Oh, okay. They left it open for a sequel?
Well, in the original miniseries and in the book, there's the child part of the story, and then when they grow up, then come back.
I forget constantly about the book, but okay.
And so this is just focused completely on the kids. So then they make the pact: we'll come back if it ever does return, and that's yeah. That's I don't.
And like
think
every
that's
Hollywood
spoilers.
evil, it will.
Yeah.
Have you been? Did you watch Rick and Morty?
Yes.
Oh my god,
This last episode was
intense.
insane.
It's like they're. Damn it! It's just so. I love the commentary that they're using. The way that they're just the way they do the pop culture thing. Every show does that. Every show does some pop culture referencing at some point.
Or yeah,
But the way they're doing this with the political
slant.
yeah, just the whole the way things are going with the whole statues of Confederacy being taken down and this white supremacy stuff and all that. They're doing a really great job of making a hilarious show that is still also providing a very serious commentary that people need to think about and talk about, you know?
And it's not heavy-handed, I don't think. Well, first time I saw it, like I just enjoyed it for what it was, but then you mentioned the whole race thing. I was like, oh, yeah, that actually fits.
Yeah, no, like I saw it immediately and I'm like, and I immediately saw the analogous between, you know, when you're in a group with people or how do I say this without sounding super bad or racist?
No, you can use it casually in a certain context, and sometimes that works.
It was their word.
It's not always available for other people.
Yeah,
you know?
it seemed like all G's was supposed to be the Mortys, the word of the Mortys. Yeah.
I think that's the best way to say it.
Yeah.
No, the episode overall was great, and if you haven't been catching up, each season's only like 10 or so episodes.
Which kind of sucks, but
it does because it's not enough. But it's
That's
also
what I'm
easier
saying,
to
yeah.
catch up on if you haven't, and it's really good. The first episode takes a minute to get into. I think that's the one that was like kind of hard for me to like really enjoy right away.
yeah, they did a lot of the stuff. They still stuck to the original like character that they wanted to make Rick to be,
Yeah.
which was maybe a little bit too extreme for a regular audience.
I don't know if it's even that. It's just like in the first episode when he shoots the bug and he's like, I thought they were robots. It's like, no, they're just bureaucrats. I hate authority. Like,
Right.
That's like when it clicked for me. Like, I'm like, okay, this show is hilarious and funny.
Oh yeah,
Everything else is kind of funny, but like that's when I just lost it.
that's what you mean. I thought you were talking about more like how Rick is still drooling, burping constantly.
I had no problem with that. Like when Morty falls off the cliff using the gravity boots, he's like, you have to turn them on first. Like,
yeah, all of that. all the like way more like original themes, I guess, that they like doing, where they would take like pain. They really extended the hell out of that scene.
Yeah.
Of him just sitting there in pain.
Writhing on the floor with his legs in like 3 different angles.
Yeah, and like I'm saying, Rick's face constantly had the drool right there the whole time, and they would do that derpy face, you know, with the lips, almost constantly throughout the episode, and they got rid of like a lot of that stuff right away.
Yeah. Still good though. Watch it. It's funny, I promise. That and BoJack Horseman.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know, but the whole season was out like a while ago, right? But
It just came out like 3 days ago.
oh, all right, cool. Well then, I've been catching up, and damn, I'm on episode 3
me
of
too.
season 4, and it's just damn amazing. If you haven't given BoJack Horseman a try, you guys very much should.
That's another show that's kind of funny at first, but then in like the 3rd episode, it like just takes off and it doesn't ever land. It's really, really good.
It just keeps getting more and more amazing, and then just when you think that a show about a drinking alcoholic horse who's like abusive with his relationships. Horseman, I'm sorry, BoJack Horseman, yeah. Just when you think that it's gonna only start getting funny or that it can't get serious anymore, like they really hit you with some emotional stuff.
Yeah, it's great. On to the video game news. We got a pretty busy week, or we've had a busy week. Okami HD has been announced to be re-releasing on the PC, PS4, and Xbox One. Very excited. This game looked gorgeous on the PS2, the 2 consoles ago.
Yeah.
And they re-released it on the Wii, and I think it lost some of its charm there, but...
I can't believe it's not coming to the Switch.
Yeah, that is kind of weird. Although maybe... I don't know.
It's an old game that's getting an HD remake. I'm pretty sure the Switch can take it.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. The game looks gorgeous from the screenshots I've seen. And it's going to be $20, which you like. It's a huge game. Feels like Zelda as far as like the dungeons. And it's $20. Like, I don't see any reason not to purchase this game.
Yeah. I'm glad it's on something newish for me. And it's going to be on like in HD, something reliable I can play on and stream well, actually. I've tried to do this game twice before.
Oh.
Neither time did I do it really all that successfully. And then on top of that, it was like, I did it on the Wii, which the gameplay with the brush, I get how that could be better. But also, I don't know, it just didn't seem... I want a regular control on that thing. I first tried it at your place a long ass time ago on PS2. Yeah. And that was fun as hell. I don't remember it being as... There was nothing wrong with it. I guess I didn't get as hooked playing on the Wii. I'd like to play it in HD and on like a regular standard control. I think that would be great.
Yeah, the game was amazing. $20, you can't beat that price.
Yeah.
I mean, you could literally, but
$20 is a damn good price to pay for such a good game that like the first time I played, it's like I've done everything in Zelda here, but this is doing everything I feel either smoother or better, or...
Even just walking, it leaves like little flowers behind.
Yeah, the nice little flourishes that they leave, and you don't have to like earn it all. Like,
yeah. Like
you just, it's gonna look pretty as hell just for the hell of looking pretty as hell. I don't know, that was pretty nice.
Yeah, the game's amazing. Reggie of Nintendo, Reggie Fils-Aimé says... Don't pay more than $80 for an SNES Classic. Indeed. Thanks, Reggie. No, but seriously, he said that production on the SNES Classic is going to be dramatically increased, or has been. He specifically says do not buy from a scalper who's going to be charging you like $160 for this thing. Yeah. I'm hoping this is true. Like, I want to be able to walk into a Best Buy and see like 2 or 3 of them. Yeah, right? Like, I want to see them stocked as much as any other item that, you know... Yeah. Plenty for everybody who's actually interested in it, not, you know, some crazy, weird rarity of them for some reason, like a scarcity. It's like the demand is here. How are you not meeting it? Or how are you not attempting to? They specifically stopped production on the NES Classic last year so that they could meet demands this year for this one. Okay, nice. But speaking of the NES Classic, actually, they're bringing that back next year. Okay. Which, if you don't have one yet, and you don't want to pay $500 to somebody who's selling one, like, this is your chance. I'm hoping that they're gonna, like, between the people who already have one and the people who have no interest in this, I'm hoping there's enough for everybody else who still hasn't gotten one yet to be able to buy one now. I didn't get one at the time, and I think Final Fantasy 1 and 2 are on there. Yeah. I would love to play those games again on top of just, like, Super Mario, the original stuff. I just have always had other means of playing these games in one way or another. I mean, like, emulators have been out there for effing ever. And sure, yeah, I have a copy of every one of these games that I've ever played. But yeah, like, I never saw the big old deal in these. It's a nice collectible. I think it's because it's a cute thing. It's a small NES. It's convenient. All you have to do is hook it up and you have all those games now. Right. As opposed to, like, maybe in an emulator or on the virtual console, you'd have to, like, you know, dig through some stuff to get to it. I can put that stuff on my phone. But I do see the appeal. I can understand the appeal behind, you know, having a chibi version of a nice console right there. Yeah. Just for posterity. Even if you stop playing it, like, it's still just, it's a cool nice thing little, to have. Yeah. What do you call that? Looking piece? Centerpiece? A centerpiece. I don't know. Yeah. But yeah. But even, you know, it sucks when a bunch of people are taking advantage of it, like they did with the some of the better, more popular Miis. Like, I think Rosalina. Oh my god. Some dude didn't like Rosalina,
and so bought all of them. Maybe I'm wrong with the specific Mii.
I think I saw a pyramid of them.
And I'm talking about an amiibo. I'm sorry, not Mii's, but yeah, specific amiibo. Some guy really didn't like a particular character.
It was Peach or Rosalina.
Bought each and every one that he could of them, and then hiked the price up like crazy. And then it's not like he can't get away with it. It's literally supply and demand. So whatever.
Yeah,
he was in his right, and it was kind of weird and ironic that it all worked out for him anyways. His hatred for this character did end up netting him a lot of money.
Yeah,
so I guess that trying to prevent that, because Nintendo did get a lot of backlash for not doing anything, but also it's like, what can we do? He bought them, and now that's it. That's as far as we can do anything with, It's not like a copyright thing, like they're making stuff off of it, making creative things off of it. No, he's just buying and then reselling.
Yeah. Hopefully this all works out for Nintendo. I want to see an SNES in my room, along with the NES Classic. I did buy one once, but it was for a gift for my brother's godson, so.
How was it difficult to get your hands on that one?
He had to wait in line. Then he gave me a little ticket that, present this and this is.
Oh, okay, cool.
So he just had to wait in line. I don't think he went. I think he went to line up the morning of.
Okay.
But every case is gonna differ.
You're right.
Steam is in the Malaysian headlines a little bit.
Yeah, they got removed from Malaysia entirely, right?
Yes, the game was the Fight of the Gods, which, as you can tell, you fight using gods.
Mm-hmm.
Developer P-Cube said they didn't really intend any religious agenda. It was kind of just them poking fun at it's like Smite.
Okay.
I understand.
Just the characters are just happen to be the characters. That's the theme of it.
I feel like maybe Smite puts a little more effort into being considerate about it, but this game is just you can be Buddha or Zeus or Jesus and fight.
Mm-hmm.
And Malaysia didn't really like that too much.
Yeah, they didn't take kindly to that idea.
There are local laws in Malaysia that prevent this sort of thing from being accessible. So the game was banned, and then as a result, all of Steam was banned in Malaysia.
Yeah, I don't know, but I wonder what the original intent was. Did they mean to get rid of an entire marketplace? Were they that upset by this? Or was somebody maybe just an oversight in trying to take care of this through their bureaucracy,
I feel like maybe a government doesn't quite have a firm grasp maybe on what Steam is.
Right.
So they just see the game being unlawful and then the perpetrator being Steam.
Right.
So they just kind of okay, all this needs to go away.
And okay.
All right. Whoa. Steam has now taken the game down in Malaysia, so the store is back up in that country.
Right, but last week the entire store was down in Malaysia for everybody in Malaysia.
Yes.
So
it's crazy.
That was a little bit upsetting for those guys.
It ended well though. I mean, Steam's back up, except for the game is not available. But now we're talking about Fight of the Gods. They got a bunch of free press.
Yeah. Through no fault of their own too. It's not like they were trying to be exploited. The most quote unquote exploitative thing here is the subject matter, but
it's not like Jesus won every game he was in. It's
right.
not like they weren't overpowered. Like, oh, you pick Jesus, you automatically win. It's like then I was like, well, okay, hold on.
Okay, I think this is a little more than commentary now.
Yeah, but all's well that ends well, I guess. ARMS is getting a big update. Not big, actually. You know what? I should say an important update.
I think half of it is really big, and then the other half is, just something that should have been there since the get-go.
Yes. Okay, yeah.
Lola,
they're adding the ability to remap controls, and I know you specifically are going to go crazy.
Yeah, I was starting to get really angry and even ragey because I keep accidentally triggering the
triggered.
I don't remember what word even or what it's called, but that's
rush?
the rush. I keep accidentally triggering the rush just because my finger's too fat to stay only on one of those shoulder buttons.
The way the shoulder buttons are made, it's hard to push one and not nudge the other one, so that if you put enough pressure, it will accidentally.
If I try to, I use regular control style to play ARMS. So if I'm trying to punch with my right hand and I hit the ZR, the first knuckle on my finger, it's not even that far down, but the first knuckle will press lightly even on the regular R button, which curves all the way down on the right side of it, on the shoulder. And that the however much pressure I'm using, that's enough to trigger the rush.
Yeah.
And it's been really upsetting because I'll be saving it, and it looks like that's my saving grace. And half the time, I don't realize, like, oh crap, I've accidentally pressed the button in the middle of some other attack. I'm not prepared to use it. I have no improv at the moment because it's surprising me just as much as I guess it won't be surprising the other guy. He's just sitting there waiting for any other attack. When he sees it's a rush and he's already ready to dodge, yeah, I just waste my rush and then, kind of just nail coffins there.
Yeah, that's unfortunate. I'm glad that they're doing that. Specifically because, like, when even I use the motion controls and to switch targets, you have to push, like, the face buttons, which isn't super comfortable.
That doesn't seem intuitive.
Yeah, I don't know how I would change it so that that's not an issue, but I'm sure I can figure something out.
I don't think all 4 buttons are used on thumbs up, is it? But the L, the R, the ZL, and the ZR?
ZL and ZR, I believe, are to activate super. L and R are for jumping and dodging.
Well, never mind.
Yeah.
Well, I know that for my remap, I'm definitely going to put one of the face buttons is going to be the rush, like, engage. And I don't think I'm going to put anything on the R shoulder. Just leave that unassigned.
Make those punching.
Maybe, but I'd rather not just, like, have them do nothing instead.
Yeah.
I don't ever want to accidentally press a button.
Yeah, that's the worst thing. The update's also going to bring Lollapop and her clown market stage.
Yeah, that's the big deal. I think that's a big deal.
That is, yeah.
The new character, Lollapop, we talked about her before. She's a clown? She is a clown,
like a
right?
French clown, yeah.
French clown. I don't... Mime even?
Cirque
No,
du Soleil
definitely clown. Puffy pants and everything, yeah. She had, like, one of her first weapons that they show, her main weapons is nunchucks. And she has like a stamp.
A shield.
Oh, yeah, right.
Oh,
she has
the stamp, the triple
stamp. She has a shield that she can use that looks like the lollipops, right?
It looks like clear plastic or something, and then it opens up and is, like, technologically...
It's got a different spin to it than
Helix's
Helix's. And then, yeah, she's got the triple rocket thing that'll stamp you with... And like, kind of like the blorb will ink your
screen.
These stamps will do the same thing as well.
Yeah, I'm pretty excited to try her out. I wonder what the nunchucks are going to play like.
Yeah, those they look kind of weird. I don't know if they're curvy weapons or what their deal is. Yeah. That'd be kind of crazy if there was an arcing weapon that would go over stuff. I don't know.
That would be cool.
Oh, wait, the blorbs do. Remember we found that out?
They jump
You can give them hang time and everything. Yeah. Awesome.
Looking forward to that. Destiny 2 is awesome. That came out on Wednesday.
Right.
I played it on Wednesday. A lot of people started playing it Tuesday night at 9 when the servers went live, but I had to wait till I was out of work, unfortunately.
Mm-hmm.
We're talking about it today because the first expansion was leaked, like probably Friday or Saturday, which is right after the game came out. So Bungie decided to go ahead and just announce the first expansion. On the game, it has one of those little cards in the booklet or whatever, or not a booklet, but in the box that says, like, you can buy this expansion pass. Here's, like, the icons that will represent what each expansion is.
Okay.
So the first one was a sun, which has always been associated with Osiris in the first game. So it turns out the first expansion is going to be called the Curse of Osiris. He's a warlock who, like, got too in deep with, like, researching the enemy and kind of, like, just went off and went crazy.
Okay.
So it's going to center on him, and apparently your leader, if you're a warlock, your leader is named Ikora Ray. She's his greatest student, according to the press release.
Okay.
So I think we're going to explore that relationship between the two of them. It says something about jumping through time, so there might be some...
Is she supposed to be showing signs of going crazy? Like she's going to start corrupting?
No.
Or...
She seems okay so far.
Okay.
He just really got into the research of time travel.
That's probably specifically a him thing.
Yeah, I think that I'm hoping we bring him back, though, and repair their relationship, because I guess at some point this put a strain on this. On their relationship. He's studying the Vex, which are like time-traveling machines. So I think we're probably going to hopefully see some time travel that doesn't mess with the continuity a whole lot.
You said time travel and introduced the idea of stable continuity.
Yeah, there's already been some messing with that in the first game, but then that hasn't been mentioned at all in the second one so far. So maybe we'll see something about that. Now, I'm assuming it's going to come out in December or January. They haven't mentioned a raid, but I hope there is one. And we're also going to be able to explore Mercury, which so far has been relegated to either multiplayer maps, or if you were able to beat the Trials of Osiris in the first game, which is a multiplayer, you would get to visit something called the Lighthouse, which is like only for people that won 9 matches in a row and didn't lose a single one. It was like a prestigious thing.
Yeah, a nice fancy clubhouse.
Yes, but you only get it for the week until the thing resets, which kind of sucks.
Okay.
Yeah, and it would have a treasure chest full of like really good loot. That was another example, a reward.
Nice, that's pretty cool.
Trials of the 9 is a new thing that's going live on Friday, and so I don't know if they're gonna do anything for this, but I'm excited for it. The game is constantly growing and evolving, and it's just come out, but I'm already like a really high level, waiting for the raid to come out. Cannot wait for this and just the future of Destiny in general. Very exciting.
So the South Park sequel to Stick of Truth, Fractured but Whole, got a couple of, I guess, feature reveals lately.
Yeah.
That are, some of them, I don't know. I know there's a lot of mixed feelings out there. They're definitely kind of offensive, but also I feel, as South Park always being something that comments on our current situation politically and socially, these are, I feel they're right in tune with the rest of their subject matter. Go ahead.
I feel like that they're offensive sometimes, but it's never for the sake of just being offensive.
They are not a shock show. They are definitely trying to show.
I think they were.
Maybe originally.
And I honestly, those episodes, like, I'm not crazy about. But the newer stuff, especially when
they definitely grew and used the medium that they had available to them I feel they're showing that.
To make a point, yeah.
Yeah. And, like, it turns out that one of the features of the game is that by selecting to make your character darker, it actually correlates to the game's difficulty. So there's specifically, is it Cartman that is telling you this?
Cartman narrates.
Yeah, like he narrates to you this bit where he tells you it's not going to make combat specifically harder, but just every other aspect of your life.
Which is sad, but I think.
But exactly, I mean, yeah. My freaking different social media outlets, the various pages, they're all filled up with all sorts of things, saying biases about this stuff, and then just like only so much of it I can read before I don't believe it or anything. And it's not like I never did. I've seen it happen before, and it's kind of terrible. I like when you realize you've been subjected, you've subjected yourself to it, and it's like, I need to think outside of that. Like, that's not all right.
When you're on the other end of it, like, and not really even thinking about it. No, like, oh, okay. If you just assume something about somebody because of the color of their skin, you're like, right. Well, you have to do a double taking. You're like, that was awful. That's not I can't believe thought. I shouldn't have immediately assumed that.
Exactly. And I don't know, this game just kind of brings that. I feel like it brings it to light, and it's in a game. I feel like it's kind of okay for people playing this game to also have that, because it's not going to be this is not a children's game at all. No. It's South Park. If you're giving this to your kid, you're the problem. You literally.
I have not seen anybody upset about this.
I mean, they're just the general, like, oh my God, I can't believe they're saying this, or I can't believe they're doing this. Oh my God, this is kind of racist, just because you're bringing attention to it.
Everything I've seen has been like, wow, good on them. Like, this is a good, cool, a nice way of showing, like, this is how...
Bringing light to such a situation.
Yeah, like, just because it doesn't happen to you doesn't mean it doesn't happen to everybody. Like, saying, like, I played Evil Within on the easiest difficulty, and I had a hard time. I can't imagine how somebody playing on Nightmare, or I think it's called Akuma or Asuma mode.
Okay, all right, and this is kind of
for them, and that's applied to real life. That's how it is with skin color.
It sucks because that is so light. It's only in a game. It can't compare to someone's actual experience with life.
Yeah,
but yeah, I get what you're saying there.
The only issue I have with this though is if you want to make the character that is you,
right
now it's just harder. On top of that, like if you are a person of color. You're like, I want to make me, and now it's a harder game for you.
You're right.
I'm hoping that there is a way to...
Conversely, I want to experience that as well, but now I can't make me without also making me black. I think I'm doing blackface now.
I hope there's a way to dissociate the difficulty from the skin color, just so that I can make a character that looks like me,
like anything,
and then pick the difficulty that I think is
right. Maybe after a first playthrough, that'd be kind of cool. I really do like the idea of that not being an option ever, of it actually really sticking to its guns with that. It's also there a couple of like new things for gender as far as options and availabilities. You got male, you got female, you have other, and as well you can also choose to play a cisgender or transgender.
Yeah.
if you do happen to go with anything that isn't just a straight male the
White
second
male,
time
I
around,
think. Yeah.
Mr. Mackey apparently retcons the whole thing with a quick call to your parents and clearing up a misunderstanding. Oh, so they weren't a boy.
Yeah. Like, oh, it was a transgender girl the whole time. Okay, that makes sense. Thank you. Bye.
All right. Okay.
And now Stick of Truth is retcon based on
that. It was a real quick little thing there. Kind of weird that they didn't have that at first because they do have a couple of female characters in that game.
I'm surprised that the first game was as good as it was.
At all.
Yeah, like so I think maybe this was like, okay, now that the game actually has some weight to it, let's go and make it a little more inclusive or you know.
The best thing about I feel about these two games is knowing how much control apparently Matt and Trey Parker themselves have over the quality of the game and how the lines are all being delivered. I think they're very much aware of their past of South Park games, and before these two, I don't think there's a game worth talking about in the South Park line of games.
Yeah.
Stick of Truth, I was very much expecting just an okay to absolute garbage game.
Yeah.
And what I came out with was an absolutely legitimate video game experience that every time it had a cinematic felt like I was watching a chunk of an episode and was delivered. They have the
timing.
You can see that in the dialogue, they don't have the awkward pauses that so many other quote unquote comedic games are plagued with, just because apparently nobody knows how, like, to go sit there, watch it play back, actually watch it play back the way it was put in by the animators and the guys who don't know what the hell is actually, what all this comedic timing is, and then fix it. It seems like these guys actually did that, and they have a grasp and handle on how to do a story-driven episodic thing like they would any other episode for themselves, and kind of branch out the different various possibilities to turn it into, like, the base of a subquest or a series of subquests.
Yeah.
And they seem to be one of the only guys I've ever seen who have a cartoon and were actually involved in a video game and seem to know what a game should end up with at the end of it.
Yeah, I don't know if you remember in the last game, there were some scenes that I guess were censored overseas.
Right.
They could not be shown. I think Italy, Australia.
Yeah.
And so they even made custom censorship screens. I think one of them was Michelangelo's David was crying, saying due to Italian censorship, we can't show this to you.
Yeah.
And then over in Australia, I think it was a koala crying.
No, koala? Koala.
I saw a koala.
Yeah, it was the bear thing. I think I was gonna call it by the wrong name. I think I was just gonna call it a marsupial.
Oh no, yeah, no. On top of that, well, my question is I'm wondering, how is the game gonna change? It changes based on your skin color. I'm wondering if female, cis, trans, other, is that gonna change stuff too, or is it just gonna be the pronouns that are different?
I would hope that it does. I could imagine that if they're gonna do anything with relationships. Like, if you're going to have factions or anything in this game, maybe I'm talking completely out of my ass, I don't know. But I could imagine that if they're expanding on the last one, that's going to be something that it's involved here. And it, like it says, it doesn't necessarily make combat harder, just every other aspect of your life. I could that furthers my wild ass guess that maybe something with the different factions in the game are actually going to have something to do with what kind of character you decide to be and how you align yourself.
Yeah.
Almost like good and bad would in any other game. Okay. Instead, your social standing is going to be the morality, I guess. Yeah.
I still haven't even played Stick of Truth, though. I really want to.
You need to play Stick of Truth. It doesn't do anything new or amazing. Everything it does is just solid.
Yeah.
But it is still, like I said, just a goddamn well-delivered South Park experience into an interactive medium, and it's legitimately hilarious. There's just points where you might put down the control to laugh just for a little bit. Yeah. It's pretty awesome.
I'm wondering if it's gonna get a current gen re-release.
Jesus, I'm thinking of some of one of the main ability, instead of being the Dragonborn who controls shouts.
Yeah.
You are a guy who can control your farts. The gases which you secrete, you have some weird ability over. So that's why you're Dovahkiin in this one. And there's when you're using your fart ability, there's one that will just make a squeak, and it's meant to distract enemies, not enemies necessarily, but people, so that then you can get by security and stuff like that.
Okay,
you distract them, they go investigate the noise, and you slip by. So they have random lines, and just the one that always got me is one security guard, like an MP, a military police, guns and everything, have the squeak go off in the distance. You just, Nicki Minaj, is that you? Like, what the hell?
Okay.
Because it's otherwise completely silence, no lines of dialogue because you're doing a stealth puzzle, and then out of nowhere you hear Nicki Minaj, and then he goes off to investigate.
I think I heard Nicki Minaj somewhere.
Something like that.
All right, so yeah, I gotta play this one, and then also I think this is just a direct sequel to it. So I mean, you're playing the same kid.
Yeah.
So I want to catch up on that. I'm hoping that they do a re-release somehow, or we'll see. Fortnite is in the. They've announced that they're getting a battle royale mode, or I'm just gonna call it PUBG mode, just because that is the most popular one right now.
That's essentially what it is now.
That's releasing September 26th, and you're gonna be able to fight 100 people or 99 other people, I guess, in your journey to be the best and get a chicken dinner, or I guess in this case it'll be like a turkey lunch. I don't know. We'll see.
Turkey
actually,
lunch.
PUBG got they broke 1 million concurrent users.
Nice.
Yeah, that game is on its way to. I think it's passing Dota. It's passing CS:GO.
Gonna get that later today. Yeah, I need to try it.
It's fun. Speaking of fun, L.A. Noire, that game where you're playing as a 1950s detective.
I like to call that game Face Vestigator.
Sure, because of the face technology in it.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, I really want to see that technology used with like a Heavy Rain game.
I want to see it just used more at all. Even in games that don't necessarily use like a super realistic, like I want to see characters that were animated like Knack or drawn like Knack characters were,
but with the expression.
And I want to see those expressions being used there. I want to see like a cartoonish or not so realistic, more stylized version of characters. I want to see that whole questioning and facial dialogue engine be used in something like that.
Yeah. It's coming to the Switch, the PS4, Xbox One, and virtual reality, and the HTC Vive, I believe. The HTC Vive is going to have like 7 cases from the game specifically reworked to work in.
I was about to ask, is it the same thing, or are they going to change it up?
I think it's like a showcase kind of thing.
Cool.
PS4 and Xbox One are, of course, going to have better graphics, 4K support, and all that. And the Switch version is going to have some gesture-based controls, some HD rumble on the Joy-Cons, and gyroscopic controls. It'll probably look the same as it did on the PS3, which I don't have a problem with. The game was fun, especially like just investigating stuff and seeing if you could piece together what actually happened, because I think you can fail a case. You can.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to that.
I had some, I guess, disagreements with what I thought were tells and were not tells in the game. So sometimes I felt like I had to. Some bits were sometimes trial and error. But for the most part, it was still amazing to see, like, oh, okay, no, he smirked right there when he said that, just like anybody else would if they were lying. And
this
then
person was nervous. You can tell that they are nervous because of the way they're like biting their lip or looking off to the side. The game looked great. Unfortunately, the Switch physical version is going to be, I think, $60. The rest of the versions are going to be $50, including the Switch
so digital. Yeah.
Apparently, the proprietary cartridge card that the Switch uses is raising costs on some games. I'm glad the digital version is less.
Yes, indeed. There's like, whoa, what reason do you have to release this? I don't know how many year old game. It's not like super old or nothing, but like still.
And
whatever.
Especially when we announced that Okami is coming out for $20.
Like, what possible reason could you guys have for coming out with this at full price? But yeah, that's good. That's, I guess, as long as, because it's digital, it's less, that's okay, I guess.
Yeah. I mean, the $50, I mean, they're adding 4K support. They're making the game just look a lot prettier. They're adding HD. Well,
it's not the exact same thing that they're spitting out.
Yeah. And then the Switch version is adding the gyroscopic controls, which I'm a fan of. And then HD rumble and gesture-based controls. So it's not just that they're just here, just copy paste, release it,
Right.
Yeah, I'm excited for that. I enjoyed it a lot. I'd stopped playing it for a bit, and then I couldn't get back into it, unfortunately, just because it broke the momentum.
It is kind of hard to have that to let this game be one of those that you try to come back to. Very difficult. It's extremely important that like you pay attention closely to the story beats that are happening, and then on top of that, like it's not. It just isn't a game you want to have any breaks in between.
Yeah, and it sucks now because of movies getting bigger and bigger, or games getting bigger and bigger. I'm sorry. They're like movies where you're not going to pause Inception an hour in and then come back to it 3 weeks later.
Right.
Finally, I can pick up where I left off. You might like start the beginning and be like, okay, and then skip ahead a few minutes and then skip ahead. You don't have that option with games. And I really wish, I know Pokemon, I think Pearl and Diamond had it. So if you stop playing for like 2 weeks, when you come back, each day it has like a journal, like you did this day, you did this day, you did this
all right.
So now you're like, okay, this is what I was doing, and now I remember what I was trying to do.
Nice.
Yeah.
Damn, I can remember. I could imagine that if you're just going back through it, and as you read it, remembering, like piecing it back together, I could imagine that it just puts you right back on track right after.
Yeah, and probably even I think I saw this notice. I noticed this after the story, but I'm assuming during the story it would tell you like you just saved Ecruteak City from so and so. Now you were off to do this. I would love to see that feature because like Prey, Final Fantasy 15, L.A. Noire, like all games that I enjoyed, but they're super hard to get back into, and then I don't want to have to start over again just to enjoy the game again. That's just a personal gripe.
Yeah.
Although I'm sure a lot of people have this problem. Like I said, games are now like movies, and you can't just walk away from that for
too long without completely ruining what you worked up to. It's not momentum. It's not like the progress is gone. Yeah, you saved it, but like you don't momentum. You're right. Yeah. Just in a word, like you don't have it anymore.
I think that's why I enjoy games like Walking Dead or the Telltale series. They say here's last, like they're small bite-sized chunks, and on top of that they have last time and next time.
Yeah, they'll refresh your memory. They got the before, next time on, and all that. It's delivered. It knows that you might take breaks.
Yeah.
And so it's ready to grab you and let you know and remind you of where you were. Whereas not all games, like, you know, what we're talking about now, they're not all set up for that.
Yeah, like I would love to see Persona 5 do like, this is last time on Persona 5. Here's a quick recap of the main story beats and then what you did the last time you were playing.
Right.
Anyway, that's just, yeah. In a minor news, Japan. I was gonna say Japan, like Japan. Japanese. There was a Japanese Splatfest. You could pick between McNuggets and French fries.
A Nipponian ink party.
Anyway, their Splatfest. Yeah, it was chicken McNuggets from McDonald's and their French fries.
Yeah, it was McDonald's chicken nuggets,
which are a big deal over there. Apparently, French fries took the popular vote by like a long shot. I think it was like 70-30.
Okay.
But then McNuggets ended up edging out in the other two categories.
Has that not been the case for every American Splatfest as well?
I know it was for the
mayo ketchup. Mayo had a way lower turnout than ketchup did, but they took a greater percentage of wins.
Yes. I don't know if it was that way for the flight.
The same thing happened there was a minority on flight.
Was flight Marinas or Pearls?
Pearls. You're shaking your head in victory?
Yeah, like people are just picking Marina because it's Marina. I can't wait for them people to just get over it and pick whatever they think is actually better.
I'm picking Marina because I like those powers anyway.
So far it is coincided that you like the ones.
Yeah, and then on top of that,
like people are like, all right, cool. I'd rather fly, but I'm gonna pick Marina because she's my bae. Like,
okay, I got you.
I don't know.
You know what? I do also think that she's the hotter of the two, but that's a coincidence. She happens to be aligning with all the other stuff I like, which only means that she's my true bae.
Okay, but obviously Pearl's the waifu for laifu. On to other news. We played Bloodborne and Outlast and Destiny. What do you want to talk about first?
I don't know, because they were all... Let's see. So, Bloodborne.
All right, Bloodborne it is.
First time I ever played it. First time I play any of these From Software, Dark Souls, Demon Souls type games. I have a very... I didn't play the first Dark Souls when those got out, and that's when it started getting big. I think, at least, that's when I started knowing about it.
Yeah.
I'm looking at it, and I disliked everything visually about it. I never liked the way it looked. I never was impressed with the graphics.
You don't like the medieval setting?
No, the fantasy medieval setting is fine by me.
Okay.
So that's never... The settings themselves are never really a thing for me. It's always how they're delivered, and I did not like these weird, grim, dark, Like, there's absolutely nothing about this game that makes me want to, like, I don't want to live a single damn moment in that world there.
Yeah, I wouldn't either.
And that's not because of the big dangers. I would happily take on freaking Mega Man's, robot armor and live out a day there. Everything looks crazy bright, hectic, nuts.
Music is nice.
Everything here is dreary, and everybody speaks to you in this weird English accent that, even though the game's from Japan and no one's from America, who knows why they have this weird accent from Europe? Oh, like I don't get any of the aesthetic.
Yeah.
I don't understand how it got appealing at all. I remember people would maybe it was the exact point before Dark Souls came out to about the last day Nintendo made an effing game. Nintendo Hard was not a good thing. Suddenly Demon Souls come out, and the one word they used to describe this stupid, I do not like this game. I'm gonna try play it more, but so far I do not like the series or I do not like this genre that has come out of it. But like, it suddenly became Nintendo Hard, and that suddenly became a good thing synonymous with this. I don't know. I feel it's just a weird addiction thing going on. The risk reward thing. I think
it's the nostalgia.
I don't think it's a nostalgia.
Well,
I don't think there's a nostalgia behind it, because there are 13, 14-year-olds who love the hell out of this game who didn't touch an NES and don't have that nostalgia. There are adults who barely touched their NESs and didn't like their NESs because of that, and still will love this game because it's Nintendo Hard all of a sudden. There's not nostalgia.
Well, okay, so I think part of it, I still think it's nostalgia. I think people remember playing those old games. Mm-hmm. They remember having fun. They remember dying a lot. They don't remember the frustration of dying a lot. I think they're associated, this game was difficult, but beating it was very satisfying. And I think that's what they're remembering. As for the younger people, I feel like they're learning that just because it's hard doesn't mean that it's bad. I think that they're kind of not getting swept up with the hype, but they're learning that same kind of way to enjoy it, where like, I don't mind dying over and over and over again, because when I finally do get through it, hell yeah, that was awesome, and I finally beat what I thought was impossible initially. Mm-hmm. I think it's just a mindset. I don't think that you're wrong to dislike it.
Right.
I just having played Bloodborne myself a little bit, it was frustrating, but when I finally beat it, like, it was just the best feeling in the world.
Yeah, it felt good, but not so much in the victorious way to get past or to a new checkpoint that led me back easily to the whole to shortcut back to not the campfire on this one, but instead in Bloodborne they are lampposts, right?
I think so, yeah.
It's a little hand holding a lamppost instead of a fire pit in all the other Dark Souls games. Yeah. And that'll take you back to the Hunter's Dream or Realm, whatever.
It's the Hunter's Dream, that sounds right.
And yeah, the game, it's got the tried and true Dark Souls thing to it. There's enemies, they'll respawn if you die. You can take them out for blood echoes in this one. Okay, yeah. Exact same formula. But it's not like this is a slightly different take on the Dark Souls franchise genre.
It's faster paced.
From the same guys. It's from Software. So yeah, it's slightly faster paced, and even that, it still felt, I at least aesthetically and everything, all that, I was more into this one than I was any of the other games.
A lot more.
I like the way things look a lot more. They just look a lot more, I don't want contemporized or modernized, I guess. Just the graphics don't look like they're taking from some archaic or antiquated kind of art style or play style.
I do like Eldritch horror a lot, like Old Gods and Cthulhu and stuff. I feel like there's a lot of that in this game.
Yeah, definitely.
People going insane and then trying to kill you.
I think the theme in general is more appealing to me, but that's not what I'm gonna say. That doesn't make the game better or worse. Like I said, the presentation is fine, but I don't know. It's mostly only frustrating me, and even when I get to a new place where it's supposed to make the game easier, or if I finally grab some new armor, it's not as alleviating to me or relieving as I feel like it should be. It's like, okay, cool, I got this. Run back out and find out it made almost no difference. Or it just, even the shortcuts are a massive thing. Those are really super important to me, but I didn't get any sense of conquest or victory when I got there. It's just, okay, I think I was just anticipating. So it was that hard to get this one, and
that's
it's this
the
early.
Whole game.
Yeah, and I think maybe even more so was just a sense of dread. It's like, cool, I got this next shortcut.
What's next?
What's the next shortcut? Like,
it's like an Evil Within, where it's like, oh my god, I just got through that really creepy part, but I know the game's not even nearly over, and there's going to be a lot more ahead of me.
Yeah, with Evil Within, I don't know if you felt that's the dread, but was it because you didn't want to keep playing? Was it making you not want to keep playing?
No, it was like, I am enjoying being forced to feel this way.
Right. That's cool. I'm not liking this. Like, it just feels... You don't
like the feeling of frustration.
Like that this one's generating? Nah.
Maybe...
I've had it before in other games, and like, I was doing Resident Evil, which is not at all like as difficult. It's throwing ammo and stuff at you all the time, but there are points in the game where it does a really good job of making it seem like you're completely powerless, and then you still make it through. Very theatrical. Right here, I'm actually living through a moment that could potentially, when, like I said, when I do make it through successfully and get maybe to my next shortcut, and I'm like, all right, cool, it still does not feel good the way it did with everything else, like in Resident Evil. And Resident Evil was, like I said, a lot more theatrical and cinematic. I don't feel like I did as much in that game, and it still made me feel good.
Yeah.
Whereas right here in Bloodborne, I'm taking all the punishment and struggling a lot, and even when I get to my reward, it doesn't
feel good.
This is not something that I want to continue anymore.
Okay. Well, maybe something will click if you try it again. Maybe. I mean, you have that itch to try it more, right?
The combat does feel like the combat itself, playing like with like actually killing and fighting enemies, not just killing them, but like fighting the enemies.
Dodging
actually
around
feels
them, countering them with a gunshot. And
pretty damn nice, with the exception of a couple of things like these guys holding torches. Those have been the majority of my deaths.
Yeah.
Is a bunch of dudes holding a torch, and they just kind of lightly flail it in front of them. They don't even aggressively like bash you with them. These dudes are holding a axe in one hand, a pitchfork in
another, and in the third arm.
No, but they're holding an axe in one hand, then a lit torch in the other, and somehow the torch is the way better option, quicker. It's giving them iframes. It's interrupting my frames, and it's taking up like maybe with every like little round that they do of it. So maybe they do like 2 shakes at you, and if it would hit you all 4 times, then yeah, that's half your health gone.
Ooh.
And yeah, in the middle of it, I don't know, dude.
I think there's an explanation
I should not be talking about a torch at all. Let alone for even like what, a minute, 2 minutes?
Yeah.
And that's kind of weird and frustrating. But then, like honestly, if you just took away the torches from those guys, I would have felt that this game, the combat so far has been perfect, if not just a little bit unforgiving, only because it's supposed to be tough. I know that.
Well, I mean, that's like the fire in
those torches just felt like is super unfair. Whereas everything is like, there's a dog that will come up to you and like bite you with the smallest window for you to dodge right after and counterattack.
Yeah.
And that still all felt way better and fine to me, even though he would take that, he would end up getting me and biting me and everything. As many times as I lost that little bout with the little dog, that torch thing is just driving me fucking nuts.
Maybe it's just the perception of power. Where
Maybe.
You don't think the torch is supposed to do that much to you, and it ends up like screwing you over a lot. Versus a dog who you think is like a strong animal, and it doesn't do as much.
Or even if it's not, just like I feel like the dog should at any point do more to me than a guy holding some little tool.
I think there's something about you that makes you susceptible to fire specifically.
I don't know. That's upsetting. And then if that's the case, then why are they even holding any of those other bladed weapons? Why?
Well, it's like in a movie where like you see some supernatural horror and they're like, all right, I got my gun, let's do this, and it's like, no, I have silver, let's just kill it with this.
I got silver, guys. It's silver.
Like, you know what I mean?
I guess. I don't know. Maybe they're just my own, but like I also like I said, kind of have a disdain for From Software and their stuff because I've never liked the presentation to their things.
Totally unbiased.
Yeah. And then actually giving it a fair try, I did probably like 4 or 5 hours of it that day. Yeah. And so it's not like I only popped it in for a couple of hours and that's it. Like, it's frustrating.
Okay, so you don't think it's worth a $60 buy? I mean, it's not $60 anymore, but
you can. I mean, because you know what you're getting into with these titles. I personally think it's a bad game. I personally would not pay for it. But then again, it does kind of have some of that Nintendo hard aesthetic to it. If that's what you're going for, you already know what From Software is going to give you.
Yeah.
And this game right here, Bloodborne, professionally, like it looks like a better game than the Dark Souls games. They basically have no UI, don't tell you how to do anything, or didn't at first, which is what really drove me away from Software.
Yeah.
Is you had to figure out basic functionality of the game needed to be figured out.
I think it's where that Nintendo thing comes in, where it's like they don't teach you everything. You have to like figure it out, trial and error, die over and over.
I guess maybe. I always thought that the Nintendo hard thing just came from the difficulty of the game itself, not necessarily those weird antiquated.
Or
yeah, it's antiquated, but I don't know what the other word is that they stick to these things.
I don't know. Either way, so if you had to buy it right now, how much would you pay for it?
If I had to buy it, I wouldn't want to. I fucking like it would be unfair to not say that it is a full price title. Yeah. You know,
but it's also not something for you.
Definitely not for me. I personally like. You have to be a fan of the series, definitely.
Okay.
You have to be a fan of the genre.
If you enjoyed Dark Souls 1, 2, 3, Demon Souls, would you pay $60 for this?
I could imagine so, yes.
Okay.
This is weird. This is a weird... I've not ever talked the game like this so much because I just would absolutely...
It's not for you, but you understand why it's
if I could go back in time, I would have slapped one of these designers and told them, this is not good. This is not good. You looked up what addiction is and are figuring out how to take advantage of that. I feel like they just take advantage of the same loop...
Overwatch with their loot boxes.
Or mobile games, more specifically. Mobile phone games. I feel like they're just taking that addiction loop, and that's all that these monsters look amazing the first 3 times, and then are just generic as hell after that.
Yeah.
The sounds that they make are all just like you can randomize the sounds that any one of these demons make for the other. They are all just okay. Does it sound bassy, throaty, and disgusting? Does the animal actually look good or, gnarled and disgusting? Okay, check. It's meeting these criteria. It like really quickly you see, or like just like do these guys' armors look a little weird? Okay, check mark. Now they can be an enemy in Dark Souls.
Okay.
Like that's that. It's just a different criteria for the monsters on Bloodborne. I don't know. I mean, I got a lot of weird mixed feelings about this game. I don't understand why it's a AAA title, but also I can't take away the fact that it's a AAA title.
Yeah. All right. Seems like you got mixed feelings about this one. But if you enjoyed the game, I guess it's worth a buy.
If you freaking like these terrible games, then yeah, go buy them. It's the same terrible game with a brand new freaking costume on. But
although even the mechanics are a little different, it's faster. If you get hurt, you can even attack to get some of that health back, which I really enjoyed about this one versus Dark Souls, Demon Souls, where it's just, no, you got hit. That's too bad.
Yeah.
I enjoyed it a lot more than Demon Souls or Dark Souls. So keep that in mind if you didn't enjoy those. If you kind of enjoyed Dark Souls and it's too much.
Supposedly Bloodborne is the more accessible of the recent releases.
Seems that way. So yeah, maybe you want to give that a shot. It's an older game, so it's already going to be less. So I think it's worth your money if you even kind of enjoyed Dark Souls.
Yeah. If you are like already hesitant or apprehensive about games that are just hard for the sake of being hard, skip this. Skip it. It's not. Maybe if you want to watch some cinematics or learn about the lore, then get on Google and do some searching because playing it. Also, if you're the kind that doesn't want to play because it's too hard, good luck finding the lore and stuff.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, because you have to dig even deeper for that stuff, and yeah, I don't. It's not that I don't see any reason for this game existing. I don't see any reason for people enjoying this game this much and then even finding out all this stuff this hard. Because back when this was a Nintendo hard thing, it was like 5 dudes that you might have known who knew everything about those particular Nintendo hard games, you know?
Yeah.
It wasn't a wildfire thing that I don't know how the hell this caught like wildfire.
I'm wondering if those older games would have been as popular. If the internet was around.
If you were to just re-release it or remake it and like maybe the same idea and then redo that, I don't know. I just strongly feel the whole risk reward thing, like I'm over a lot of that stuff as like in my age now. Like I'm not so susceptible to stupid bright lights
over and over
exactly.
And over again.
And without that rush, I'm just seeing all the garbage that's in front of me between the point that I get respawned and the point where the only thing I give a shit about is at, like the time that I've wasted is a lot more valuable than the stuff that I left at that pit. And so that's just totally killing this whole, even the potential for me to start the addiction loop on it.
Yeah.
And I feel that that's all they're taking advantage of with these games. And that's all that happens is that, all right, make it cost something, make that cost determined by the player themselves, so it's self-inflicted, which makes it even more interesting.
Yeah.
And ad nauseum repeat.
All right. Well, that was Bloodborne. And you also played Outlast, right?
Yeah, I wanted to talk more about it. I didn't know I was going to get so angry with Bloodborne and talk about that so much.
Yeah.
But, and then on top of that, I only got to do about maybe 2.5 hours. So...
First impressions then.
First, I like what I'm playing. Some of the stuff... Like again, I'm gonna bring up the fact that like it's not so easy I don't fall so easy for the little quick things. There were a couple of jump scares that were getting me at first in this game, but I really quickly figured out where they're gonna happen. And even when the new jump scares that they threw out at me,
yeah,
they weren't getting me anymore. Like I kind of like immediately like shielded up for them. Not even shielded up, they just stopped being so effective.
Mentally fortified.
Yeah, and okay. I H8Bit used harden on mind.
I mean, even with FNAF though, like when Foxy's running at the door.
The only FNAF that, well, what were you gonna say? It still scares you?
It still like makes you jump.
Okay, yeah. Like it's still, my heart's still pounding, but it's going to take a little while before I completely, like, am still just sitting in my chair and I'm like, oh, damn it, he got me again.
Okay, yeah.
Rather than, actually jumping. This game right here, the first couple of times, got me damn good. The jump scares, when they got me way better than most jump scares ever did. But again, they only happened a couple of times. And once they started repeating them, in the 2.5 hours that I played them,
yeah,
they kind of have lost their effect on
their
me.
Edge.
So... The story I'm liking so far, how it's delivered through the notes that you find and the gameplay itself so far. I remember reading some stuff about maybe battery management was going to be frustrating. So far, I think maybe I've been just fumbling a little too much and that hasn't been an issue for me yet. Okay. But yeah.
Well, our first episode, we talked about an update about batteries. Was it about, I think, was it this game or?
About how, I think, it had to be because Outlast 2 was, I don't think it was out yet. So, the thing is, I don't know what version I have.
Yeah, anyway, okay, that's weird. But, okay, at least it's not as big a deal as you thought it was going to be.
In any case, definitely very much, like, worth whatever it is right now. It's not going to be full price. I
think it was $30 to start with.
Nice. I didn't even know that, because it feels like it's a full price.
I think you can get all 3... for
in a
like
bundle?
$30.
Nice.
And it's Outlast Whistleblower, which is kind of an expansion add-on story to this one.
For the first one.
And then Outlast 2.
Yeah, for what it is, though, and I mean, I say that like it's less than any full game, and so far, the fact that it has no combat has not made it any less of a game. So far, it's still, it's basically a puzzle game instead. With a very, very, very nice, very scary, dark presentation to it.
Yeah.
I'm not going to say a whole lot more about it because, like I said, I've only done 2.5 hours. But thus far, great beginning that hooks you in.
Yeah.
And the only reason I stopped playing is because I needed to take a break and get something to eat and stream something else.
Yeah. All right. So it sounds like that's worth it so far. We'll talk more about that next week.
Yeah, I'll be playing more of it this week on Fear-Filled Fridays on the YouTube channel.
Cool. YouTube.com/GameGo livestream.
Or just search any combination of GameGo and YouTube now.
Yeah, in the game we're playing.
We'll show up now. Take
Sweet.
that, SEO.
And I played a lot of Destiny from like Wednesday on to yesterday even. Before I came over here, I was playing Destiny. It has absorbed my life and all that matters, and I'm okay with it. The game is better. Okay, so Destiny 1, I understand why people were upset with it. It was not complete at launch,
quote
the
unquote.
first game. There was a lot of grind, which wasn't always fun, and it was frustrating. This game, they added story, they added, the fun. The important thing was finding the fun. I know one thing that they mentioned was that exotic weapons and armor are very special. You can only have one of them, one of each, an armor and a weapon equipped, and they have special effects. They look super cool, and a lot of people apparently never found one because in the original game because they were harder to find.
Okay. Oh, okay.
In Destiny 2, by the time you finish the story and level up to 20, you're gonna have 2, and they're not gonna be super strong by the time you get to a higher power level. But you can always break down other items to get them stronger, to bring them up to that level. And they're cool. They're a good first, this is what the game is. You go through missions, you get rewarded with just some of the coolest looking armor I've seen in a Destiny game. Just frankly put, it feels like most aspects of the game are a lot better, and it feels a lot more rewarding just to go through the story, which is actually good now. The last cutscene had me jaw dropped. I was like, oh my god, these are the people that made Halo, for sure. The last game, the story was just kind of scattered everywhere at first and it didn't make a whole lot of sense. And even now, I think going back to the initial part of the story in the first game, it's not great. It doesn't motivate you, and it's kind of convoluted and weird. The expansions had better story, but this Destiny 2 is definitely worthy of that too. I think. The raid's going up tomorrow. Trials of the Nine is going up Friday. There's something called the Faction Rally in 2-3 weeks. I'm excited to see what that is because it has the emblem for Dead Orbit, Future War Cult, and New Monarchy. So far, they haven't been present in the game, although they do have areas designated to them. Dead Orbit was my favorite faction of the three, so when the Faction Rally comes up, I'll probably mention it. And we're probably going to get a written review from Zenitram. He wrote the review for us for Lawbreakers on the website on GameGoPodcast.com. Check that out. It's pretty good. And yeah, so far the game just seems better in every way. The one gripe I have is shaders. That's actually been kind of a point of contention across social media. So before shaders, you could change the colors of your whole outfit so that it's all one matching thing. And that's kind of in case you like this armor and this armor and this armor, the default colors on them are just completely disparate and you're going to look like a hobo, just grabbed whatever you could and put it on. With the shader though, it would okay, now it's all lime green and purple, or bright fluorescent blue, like one of the raid shaders was. And you could keep the shader, you can unequip it, put it somewhere else. If you deleted it, you can get it from your collection. You would earn all these shaders, and this is my collection. I can pick out whatever one I want, put it on, show it off to friends and stuff. It was very cool. Now shaders are a consumable item. You earn them, but you get 5 of them at a time. But once you use it on something, it's gone. That wouldn't be such a big deal, except now you can put it on your Sparrow, which is your speeder bike, your ship, your guns, your Ghost. Now there are 11 slots for you to put a shader in. And now they're consumable and you don't have a collection, which I think is probably the worst part to me because I would like to be able to say, look at all these shaders that I got. They're all cool. This one makes me shimmery. This one makes me look camouflaged. And they did say this is so people get motivated, oh, this is how you earn that shader. I'm going to go do that activity because I want to earn it. But I still would like the ability to show off what I had. Or now I can't be look at this cool shader I had, put it on. Now, I can take it off and lose it, or I can just keep it on. And especially now, because we're still earning better and better armor, what I put it on now might not even last in an hour. I might find something better.
Oh, okay. Okay, I got you.
Yeah. I would love to be able to. My idea was
it's a lot of commitment for just something that is visual.
Yeah.
That sucks.
Yeah. My idea was have them locked. You can earn it, and then you can purchase it for in-game money once you have one of it. But we'll see what Bungie does. They already kind of put their foot down on it, and hopefully that's not the final word because it sucks.
That's odd too to be so strict about, again, something that's just visual.
it was a big step backwards. It was a lot simpler and easier, and it kind of sucks that they now are going backwards on this. What I feel, you know. And a lot of the game is basically expressing the character that you want. Like, I want this armor because it looks cool. But now it's limiting a bit, and I would love to be able to pick whatever color. Like, I have a red helmet with a black visor. I look like a Power Ranger. Okay. I want to put all the red on
everything else, so you can continue that motif.
Yeah,
right.
But I can't because I don't have any more of the shader. So that's unfortunate.
Right.
I don't know if Bungie will do something about it. I feel like they probably will. At some point, though, there's going to be some sort of concession, but we'll talk about that when it happens. For now, though, let's move on to stuff that's not out yet and potentially isn't disappointing. All right, so one of the first games coming out that I'm excited for is on Wednesday, September 13th. It's called Cook Serve Delicious 2, with 2 exclamation points after that.
I don't know why this game looks so damn appealing.
Yeah, it's for PC. It's coming to PS4 later, but Wednesday is the PC release. You're basically just running your own restaurant or something, right?
It's like the description says, an intense restaurant simulator.
It looks like a lot of macro or micro managing, like the keys especially. Like you have to go to the bathroom and flush, sanitize, and then you're back on the line.
Yeah, a bunch of I don't even know what to call this kind of game. Just you're given an order, it's in a queue. You need to handle every different order, and every item in the queue is handled differently.
Yeah. So,
yeah, you just got to make sure you manage these things. Timing is involved with the cooking of the burgers and dishes, whereas, you know, something like boiling time or bake time might be involved with some other ones.
You can leave that.
So many different things to manage. It looks intense. Look up a video of it. You'd be hard pressed not to immediately feel like you want to play that game right now and right here and now.
Yeah, that's definitely like the thing I'm most excited for this week, I think, which is weird, but yeah. And then we're also getting Transcripted coming to Xbox One, and Don't Starve Together, the console version, to Xbox One. Thursday, September 14th, you're getting an Earthlock Festival of Magic for the Wii U.
Yeah, Wii U, I'm surprised it's still...
I have no idea what that game is, and I don't know if I want to. Switch is getting a couple of games. Kingdom New Lands, that's on like iPhone and computer. It's a pretty cool game about like building up defenses, earning money every day that you survive, and it's all like very retro graphics. Mm-hmm. Semispheres for Switch, that looks like a puzzle game. It looks pretty cool.
Yeah, some kind of symmetrical... You have 2 orbs that you're controlling, the spheres, and you have on either half of the screen, and they move symmetrically. You have to have them work together to get things happening on one side of the puzzle that don't happen on the other side.
Yeah. Buggy Racing coming to Switch, and Pan, A Tiny Big Adventure, which looks kind of cool. That's like a Monument Valley puzzle style game, right?
Yeah.
You were singing about that.
Yeah, the aesthetic looks very much like Monument Valley. It kind of just at top down instead.
Yeah, isometric, I think it was.
Yeah, my bad. Yeah, I'm sorry.
Yeah, it looks pretty cool. Might check that out. And then Baja Edge of Control.
Which, by the title...
It's not about fish, which I don't know if maybe Baja... I don't know. It's a truck racing game, it looks like. Coming to Xbox One and PS4. That's it for Thursday. Friday, September 15th, we're getting Metroid Samus Returns. Yeah, NBA 2K18 coming to Switch, Xbox One, and PS4.
Dishonored's.
I'm sorry. Samus Returns coming to 3DS. Dishonored, Death of the Outsider is coming to Xbox One, PC, PS4, and NBA Live 18 is coming to Xbox One and PS4. And then Tuesday next week on the 19th, NBA 2K18 is going to be coming to PC. Yeah, that's getting a later release.
Okay.
Binding of Isaac Afterbirth Plus is coming to PS4, and Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite is coming to Xbox One and PS4.
There's a lot of different versions of Binding of Isaac out now.
I think there's the regular one, Rebirth and Afterbirth, and I think the updates kind of just make it seem like it's a new game every time. Yeah. But yeah, that's it for us this week. If you have any questions, you want to hear us talk about some specific game or piece of news, you can email us at gamegopodcast@gmail.com or comment on one of the videos that we have up on YouTube at youtube.com/GameGoLivestream. Comment on our website, GameGoPodcast.com, and Twitter. We're on Twitter at GameGo11.
GameGo11. We are all over the place. You can reach us in so many different ways. So if you have absolutely any questions, comments, suggestions, want to talk crap about us, you have an infinite number of avenues to get to us.
Yes. In the meantime, though, this is GameGo
I am H8BitHero.
I'm Sonorith.
Thank you guys very much for listening.
Yeah, we'll see you guys next week.